Welcome to Littleton Common. This month we thought we'd do something a little bit different. We're going to show you what it takes to put on a program such as Littleton Common. And we thought you might enjoy all the little things that we go through. It is fun, but we do have a beginning and we do have an end. And we do have, like, good things, and sometimes we have bloopers, but it is something that we just thought you'd enjoy seeing. This month we're going to have a special guest, and that's Hazel Plummer, who is 101 years old. And the reason that I had her on the show was there was a birthday party for her at the Council on Aging Senior Diner. And when they told me this lady was coming in and she was 101, I definitely wanted to meet her. So when I did, I said that you might enjoy meeting her too. And so I asked her to be on our show, and that's what's happening this month. So what we're doing is starting with how it's done, which is right here. When I met Hazel, I then came home and I started a script that, questions that I could ask her. And I talked to Mark about having someone on the show. Is this okay? And what do you think? So we do discuss that. And after I've written the script, I send it on to Mark, and then I go in and we check it all over. And we start talking about how we're going to do this. And you're going to see that today. And I think you will enjoy it. So stay tuned, because there's more to come. Hello.
Whoa, hi. Nice curlers. How you doing?
Good. Good.
Ready?
Yeah. Did you get my script?
I did. Let's take a look at it. Okay, I've got everything loaded in here. Your script is all set to go. I made that one correction there to that spelling. But everything else looks good, so I think you're ready to get rid of those curlers.
That's it. Can't do anything else. Hey, Bob.
How are you?
Good. Glad you could come
Yeah.
and help me.
Are
I
we
need help.
just doing the intro today, or do you have your guests coming later?
No, I don't have the guest right now. We're going to do the news part.
Okay.
Okay? And,
So I'm just going to be on the one camera.
right. Good.
Okay.
Ready to go.
Is Mark here? Are we going to be doing it
Yeah,
next
he'll be
minute or
yelling
so?
to me. He'll be doing his usual.
His usual?
Yeah.
Okay.
Fix the mic.
Yeah, we'll be able to hear him.
And I'll be going, what? You know how that is.
Okay.
What? I don't hear you. Now let's hope I can see it. That's the hard part. I might want to check and see if I have to move over, or I need to be taller,
Okay.
or shorter, and do the flowers show.
No, you're looking really good.
Okay.
Yep.
Hair looks okay, because Mark, he just says, yes, it looks fine.
You're front and center. You're looking real good. Good. Really
Okay.
good. Especially with that new backdrop.
I like
For
that.
sure.
I do. I like that too. Well, we've done all the preliminary work to get to this point, and now we're at the news desk, and we're just about ready to start with the real show. So, Bob, we almost ready?
I think we're going to be shooting this pretty soon then.
Good. I'll put my mic on, because I need that, that's for sure. Don't forget your mic. And don't forget to take it off when you leave.
Okay, Barbara, stand by.
Okay.
And 5, 4.
Hi, I'm Barbara McRae. Welcome to Littleton Common. What is going on with the weather? I am so ready to put the umbrella away. When will that happen? I'm still soggy from all the rain in June. I really don't want to think about it, but I wonder what winter will bring this year. No. I don't want to think about that yet. When you receive your senior newsletter this month, please notice that it will be for July and August. Our editor is taking a month off and has put everything you need to know for both months into one broadcaster. But if anything of interest does come up in August, we will let you know right here on our show. One thing you're going to hear a lot about during the next few months is the Littleton Community Boosters. A few years ago, Rose Wing thought it would be a great idea to put together an organization that brought the schools and the senior community together. Hence the boosters. Now for 2 years, in September, they have put on an auction at the middle school, bringing in money to support both of these things. This community meets every week to get things moving and to make the auction a success. Now sadly, this year, Rose's husband Herb passed away, and now we are giving a Herbert C. Wing III Community Service Award of $500 to recognize a senior student for extraordinary community service. This year that award went to Gretchen Scheminger. Now keep the date of September 26th on your calendar and join us at this annual event. Bring your checkbook or your pennies and bid on the item of your choice. And speaking of items, we are looking for donations for the auction, so please call Kurt Lanciani at 486-4701 and let him know if you have anything that will help raise money for this auction. If you have a craft item you want to contribute, or if you would like to work that day, we will be happy to put your name on our list. The Friends of the Council on Aging has learned that Henry Harvey has decided it's time to retire as our treasurer. Henry has been with us for many, many years, and he did such a great job keeping our financial records in order. Henry, we will all miss you dearly at our meetings, and we hope you enjoy every day and have fond memories of all you have done. If you are interested in taking the position as treasurer for the Friends, please contact me, Barbara, at 263-7905. Our meetings are the first Tuesday of every month, and they're at 2:30 p.m. in the Shattuck Street Senior Diner. Now, we did find someone to help weed the courtyard at Shattuck Street. The weeds really have gotten away from us, and of course with all the rain helping them along. So Marcia will start sectioning off an area at a time and get the mess cleaned up. Thank you, Marcia. Hopefully the courtyard will be looking good for the July ice cream social and cookout. Now let's give Gail Dalton, we'll let her talk about this. Okay, hold it right there for a minute because we want to explain something else to you. Usually on this show we have 3 people who join us in a little square, I should say, and that's Evan Theovalakis from Indian Hill, Gail Dalton from the Senior Diner, and Lynn Lyford from the New England Forestry Foundation. And what we want you to see is how that works. So normally what I do is I have to ask Mark if the equipment is available, I have to sign out for it, and then check it all out. He gives me the mics and everything else I need. And then I go to Indian Hill, the Senior Diner, and the Forestry Foundation and tape these people individually and bring it back to Mark, who then edits it into the program, and you see them with me on the news. So that's how we do this segment. Let's get back to the show. How's it going, Gail?
Hi, Barbara. What's happening for the month of July in the Senior Littleton Diner is July 3rd. I believe it's a holiday because July 4th is on Saturday, so I believe this building will be closed on that day. The birthday lunch will be July 8th for all the July birthdays, so please call down here. and Minuteman will provide you a lunch, and the COA provides a lovely birthday cake. The ladies' breakfast will be July 9th, that's a Thursday. The men's breakfast will be Wednesday, July 15th, and the COA is having their annual barbecue on July 23rd, and of course, you guys come on down, and it's going to be a $5 donation, because we're also going to be giving away another basket, and come down and watch Barbara and I cook hamburgers and hot dogs outside and sweat, because it's usually 110 degrees when we cook. So, oh, and last month, our winner for the basket was our own Barbara Cam, who won the basket. So this month, we have for June, this is the basket that's being raffled off, and it's extremely heavy, so as long as you come in here, have lunch, have breakfast, sign up, you can win the basket. So come on down.
Thanks. Remember, we need to know how many are coming, so call Gail at 952-2757 by July 17th. And we're going to have another cookout the last week in August with Representative Arciero and Senator Eldridge, so look for that one too. The Explorers are off to Fruitlands in Harvard on July 28th. Entry fee is $10 per person, or half price if we can get 10 or more of you to come along. This month we are carpooling. We'll meet at Shattuck Street and leave at 10:45 in the morning and return at 2:30 in the afternoon. You can eat lunch at the Fruitlands restaurant, or if it doesn't rain, again, please, you can bring your lunch and eat at the picnic area. Hopefully, it will be a beautiful summer day. The Tall Ships Tour is happening on July 10th, and I hope you signed up for this day and take some good pictures and let us see them. The next trip is to the Providence Water Fires on August 22nd. It will be during the afternoon and evening. It's $56 per person, and you'll have an early dinner and see the water fires in a gondola. Wow. Or is it gondola? Gondola, that's right. This sounds like fun, and I have heard it's absolutely beautiful, so don't miss it. Hospice of Neshoba Nursing is still in need of lap blankets, so if you are sitting, then sit and knit. You'll make someone nice and cozy, but call Peg Griskowski at 486-4620 if you can help with this request. The Littleton Seniors Club is not meeting during the summer, and they will resume meetings and have installation of officers at the September 21st meeting, so put that on your calendar. Right now, here is news from Indian Hill Center. Hi, Michael.
Hi, Barbara. I'm Michael Havey. I'm the Director of Education here at Indian Hill Music. Welcome to our beautiful Blackman Hall Recital Hall here at the school. This is where a lot of our activities take place. We have recitals and concerts and all kinds of special events here at the school in this room. So we're happy to come to you from this place today. I'd like to talk to you a little bit about what we're planning for the summertime. There's many activities for students of all ages, from babies on up to adults, so we'd like to share some of that with you today. The summer programs start officially on June 29th, and that program is our Summer Day Musical Theater Festival. That's for students ages 8 through 18. It's Monday through Friday from 9 to 3 o'clock. And this year, the students will be creating the musical The Wizard of Oz, so it'll be a very popular show this time. In addition to creating the musical, they're also learning about stagecraft, what's really involved in putting a musical together. So it's a real valuable experience for them to work as a team and to actually create something here on the stage at Blackman Hall. The performances of Wizard of Oz are open to the public, and they will be on July 24th, 25th, and 26th. There's more information about those shows on our website at indianhillmusic.org, so please visit that site to get more information. The lessons and classes for the summertime start on Monday, July 6th. We have classes, as I said, for newborns through age 7 in our kinder music curriculum. There's also various beginning instrument classes that you can take, recorder and guitar and piano and various other that are in group settings, so it's a very low-stress way to learn an instrument, and also the students get to support each other in that process. So if there's something that you would like to explore, I'm sure there's an instrument class that we can offer for you. There's also a number of ensemble opportunities and other classes. Again, if you give us a call or visit our website, there's lots of more information about those lessons and classes. For instrument lessons, private lessons, you can take as few as 3 lessons in the summertime, and so that's a great opportunity to try out an instrument, or if you're just a casual learner and would like to get back into playing an instrument you did in the past, this is a great time to do that. The schedules are very flexible. We have over 50 teachers that will be here this summer to offer lessons in all the different instruments, so give us a call and let us know what you'd like to work on. Also, this summertime, for 2 weeks, starting on July 27th, is our Summer Day Music Festival. This is also for students age 8 through 18. It's for all instruments, including voice. The program is from 9 o'clock in the morning until 4:15 each day, Monday through Friday. We have a series of core classes in the morning where the students are working on the technique and literature specific to their instrument. And then in the afternoon, the students can take a variety of electives. There are beginning instrument classes, there are ensembles, there's theory and composition classes. Students can also explore all kinds of new styles of music as well in those classes. And the festival ends on Thursday and Friday of the second week with 4 concerts. The students get to perform the music that they've worked on all during that time for solos and ensembles. And those concerts are free and open to the public. Our box lunch concert in July is in connection with our musical theater festival this year. So the students who are working on the production of Wizard of Oz will be the featured performers at that concert. So they'll be doing songs and scenes from the musical, which, as I said, the performances are July 24th, 25th, and 26th. So that will be a very special concert. The box lunch is on Thursday, July 16th at noon. You are invited to bring your lunch. We provide coffee, tea, and cookies. It's free and open to the public, so you want to join us for that a very special performance in July. If you have any questions about anything that we're doing this summer, we invite you to call our office. The number is 978-486-9524, or visit us at our website, indianhillmusic.org. Hope to see you this summer and make some music together.
Thank you. Are you job hunting? Why don't you try networking at Reuben Hoare Library? Drop into the Cooper Room on Thursday, July 2nd at 2 p.m. Bring a brown bag lunch. Hey, does anyone have a brown bag anymore? White plastic maybe, but brown bag, I guess. Anyway, beverages provided by the Friends of the Reuben Hoare Library. So bring that brown bag lunch and join the search for a job. And good luck to all who participate. Tina Mader's Living Alone support group meeting will meet on July 16th from 10:30 to 11:30 in room 230 of the Council on Aging. If you wish to join this group, please call Tina at 486-0183. There will be no August meeting, but join us on September 17th. There will be blood pressure clinics on July 9th at 10 o'clock at Littleton Green, July 14th from 11 to noon at the Senior Diner, and July 23rd at Pine Tree Park. And that's going to be at 9 o'clock in the morning. So if you're concerned about your pressure, go to one or all of these places and take care of yourself. The next podiatry clinic will be on August 4th at 8:30 in the morning in room 230 at the Council on Aging. The cost is $25, but you have to call for an appointment, so call 952-2362 to let them know you're coming.
A new class is beginning in July. No exact date is set yet, but they are working on that as we speak. This class is being offered by the Life Care Center of Neshoba Valley. It's called A Matter of Balance. Trainers will help you improve balance and prevent falling. That's a big problem as we get older, keeping the balance. Often it can happen because of medication or eye problems or maybe just plain age-related. You might want to check on this class and see what it does for you. You can call the Council on Aging office for the time and place. And again and again and again, that number is 952-2362. Maybe you're a golfer. Well, keeping your balance is important in that game. If you are a golfer, you might want to go to St. Anne's Golf Tournament on Friday, September 18th. This is an annual event raising money for very, very good causes. This year, the 2009 recipient is going to be Household Goods Recycling of Massachusetts, and they serve the whole surrounding area. I understand they are really thrilled to receive this money, and who wouldn't be now during these times. The tournament will be at the Westminster Golf Club. There will be a dinner for the golfers, parishioners, and guests. And we will be announcing more on this event next month, but in the meantime, if you have any questions, please call Karen Smith at 952-6944. We had a very, very young 101-year-old come to celebrate her birthday with us in June. Hazel Plummer is awesome. She still has her balance and much, much more. 101, imagine. We will be talking to Hazel later in the show. Maybe we can learn some of her secrets for keeping her youth. I bet she never sits still. The Littleton Country Gardeners will be celebrating their 50th anniversary this year. We are trying to pull pictures together to see what we were doing all of these years. If you were a member in the past and you have anything to offer, please call Mary Dugan at 952-2593 and let her know. I'm sure there are some stories to share. The thrift shop is the gift that keeps on giving to our customers and the senior activities. Thanks to all of you who donate clothes and small housewares, we have a great looking shop. We are receiving word that people are coming from many of the neighboring towns and returning often. Thank you again for helping us enjoy new programs and with all of your visits to the shop. Whatever you do, do not forget the Littleton Apple Man Triathlon. It is a weekend filled with lots of fun and hundreds of people, so put July 19th on your calendar and come to the festivities. If you'd like to participate in this event, you'd better hurry because registration is selling out very quickly. 450 people have signed up already, and they are only accepting 150 more. They do sell out, so don't think that 150 will be hard to fill. Activities start on the 19th at Long Lake at 8 a.m. and there is quite a long swim, a 10-mile bike ride, and a 3-mile run. Hey, I'm tired just saying that. The run will go through the town and then onto the Three Brothers Trail and back to the lake. The Saturday before the race, there will be the race registration where you'll receive your number. There's a pasta dinner and lots of music. It really sounds like a great town event, so try and participate, even as a spectator. They're looking for volunteers, so contact info@applemantriathlon.com if you can help, or call 978-486-0323. So now, stay tuned with us for our guest this month, Hazel Plummer. Okay, clear. So that's how we do it, and I guess that's a wrap, and what do you think, Bob?
Excellent, as usual. Just this time, don't forget to take the mic off before you get up.
Right, big problem here.
This is Betsy Levinson, and she's from The Independent.
Oh my goodness. I had my picture in the paper.
That's right. Yep. We're just getting this part of our television show ready. This segment, we usually have a guest, and we sit them down and start talking about, what they're going to do and help them to relax. Although today we have Hazel Plummer, and she's very relaxed. She's not worried about this at all. Usually I get the young women saying, I'm so nervous, and I laugh because, like you said, we're just going to sit and talk.
Yeah.
So they should never be nervous about it. It's kind of fun. It's going to be fun. And today, I think it's really going to be fun, at least for me, because I'm just excited about this interview.
Today I am honored to have as our guest Hazel Plummer. No, wait a minute. I'm awed by our guest, Hazel Plummer. I met Hazel at the Council on Aging birthday party last month when she turned 101 years old. 101. Imagine all of the things that you have seen in all of these years. And I have to say, you don't look 101, you look 90.
Thank you.
Maybe even younger.
I look in the mirror and I think I look like an old hag.
Well, you're looking in the wrong mirror. I'm looking directly at you, and I'm seeing a very young lady, and I have to tell you, I have been so excited about getting to do this and talk to you because I want your secrets. I want to know, first of all, I have a bunch of questions that I made up here for you, and one of them is, well, I do want to know if you're originally from Littleton.
When I came into Littleton?
Yes.
I think we've been here close to 50 years.
Uh-huh.
We moved from Somerville. Both my husband and I were born in Somerville.
Oh, really?
And he was a year and a half ahead of me in school. And I was not, in junior high, I wasn't interested in boys. And I know my father would never allowed me to have a boyfriend at that age. And he graduated and went into high school. And I graduated the year later, and I wanted to go to trade school.
Oh, okay.
And take up a profession. I loved to sew, so I went into Boston every day, and I learned everything that I needed to know. And then they sent me to a Madame Vonderluft. She was a Swedish lady. And we were supposed to take our samplers with us, but she wouldn't even look at it.
Oh.
And I was totally insulted. I'd worked hard on those. And so anyway, she said, I'll teach you my system. So I stayed there quite some time. And she wasn't one to pay very much, so I decided, I think I can do better than this. So I decided to go to the McDonald sisters. Well, that was a big mistake because they had one form and they would pad it to whatever the size of the person was. They were so old-fashioned, I hated it, but I didn't know what else to do for a while. Then I met a girl. I used to go out on my lunch hour after I had my lunch, and I met a young lady who was the head cutter and fitter at Madame Ruby's in Clarendon and Newbury Street. And so Marie said, do you like where you are? And I said, I hate it, but I don't know where to go. And she said, well, why don't you let me ask Miss Ruby if she could use you? And I told her, I said, I like to do finishing. I like bindings, bound buttonholes, made buttonholes, and all kinds of things like that. And at that time, young women wore a lot of taffeta and very bouffant.
Yep.
And I did all the bindings.
Oh my goodness.
And then when we'd get slack along in after Christmas, kind of got slow, I'd go into the tailor's room and I'd work with him. So I got all phases.
Wonderful.
I started in the sleeve room. From the sleeve room, I went to the waist room. From the waist room, I went upstairs to the skirt room.
Yeah.
And I really had a very good background.
Good.
And I stayed there till I was going to get married. And two of the girls that I worked with came out and helped with the dresses that I was making for my bridesmaids, and my sister was my matron of honor. And I had a little ring bearer, and I made his suit, which was short pants, of course, because they didn't wear long pants in those days. And I had a little, not fluting, but kind of...
Smocking or?
Well, what do I want to say? Kind of pleated like.
Oh, yeah.
And then the buttons went down the front, and then the bigger buttons on his pants.
Oh, yes.
And I had a little flower girl, and I dressed her from the skin out.
Yeah.
And I had a very pretty wedding.
Good. How old were you when you got married?
I was almost 27. I was 26, and we were married the 6th of April. So I was 27 the following June. So I didn't marry young.
No.
My sister married at 21.
Yeah.
But
How long were you married?
I had a lot of boyfriends, and it took me a long time to really settle down.
Good for you. Good for you.
And my husband worked in a drugstore part-time, and I went in. Was going to go to work, and I had a strap broke on my slip. So I went in to stitch it. I'd been making a dress for my mother, and I had just thrown a towel over it, the head. So I stood doing it, and of course I caught my finger, and it broke the needle off. It didn't break so that it was in my finger, but of course it made it bleed. So I washed it off, and I put a Band-Aid on it, and I stopped in the drugstore to get a cot to put over it, so I wouldn't get anything on the material. And he said, "Oh, you're Hazel Downs." And I said, "Yes, and you're Elma Plummer." And he said, "How'd you know my name?" I said, "Oh, word gets around." I said, "I've been told you're quite a ladies' man." "Oh, I am not," he said. So he wanted to take me out, and I said, "Well, I have to think about that. I have lots of boyfriends."
Oh my goodness.
I made it hard for her.
Good for you. That makes a very good relationship later on.
But you know, the funny part was my father was so cautious of who I went out with. He went into the drugstore on his way to work one morning before the streetcar came, and he asked Mr. Sawyer, who owned the store, what kind of a character this Elma Plummer was. I never knew it.
Oh, no.
For years I didn't know it till finally one day I had gone into the drugstore. We had been married quite a while, and Mr. Sawyer said, "Well, I guess your father must have found out that Elma was a pretty nice man." And I said, "Why would you know?" He said, "Because you came in and asked me."
Oh, no.
I said, "And you didn't tell Elma?" He said, "No." He said, "I wouldn't tell her."
How long were you married?
Almost 65 years.
Wonderful. Wow.
Yeah.
And you have 2 sons.
I have 2 sons,
And,
both retired.
And so, wow, 65 years or almost 65
Well,
years. That was good.
Elma, he was losing the use of his legs, and he had dementia. He did not have the Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
But he was up to Life Care Center for 16 months. And then he got a virus and pneumonia, both together. I got the virus.
Yeah.
And my son and daughter-in-law were with him when he died. He had a birthday the 8th of January, and he died on the 19th.
I see.
And he was 93.
Well, bless his heart. Oh, my.
Yeah.
Good. Your sons have a good chance to get to 150.
Well, because on my father's side, my grandfather was 89.
Yeah,
And my dad died at 72, but he had angina, but he also had embolism, he had a clot that was traveling all over his body, and they didn't know what to do with it those days.
Yeah, right.
He died in 1944, so
yeah.
they didn't know how to take care of it. Today,
yeah.
they have lots of things that they can do to,
Sure.
to get rid of it.
Yeah.
But
So what do you think? What is your idea? Do you have any formula for living to be 101? Like, do you think it's genetics? Do you think it's like vitamins, or do you just keep moving?
well, I never took vitamins until I was in my 60s.
Ah,
And my oldest son was over one day, and he said, "You and Dad take vitamins?" And I said, "No. Why do we need vitamins for? Everybody needs vitamins," he said. So he said, "I'm going to get them, and I'll bring them over." And I said, "Well, if you get them, I'll pay for them." As we were very independent.
Yeah.
And he said, "Ma, you never want anybody to do anything for you." He said, "It's going to cost me a mint, to buy a few vitamins." I said, "Well, we can well afford to pay for them."
yeah, yeah.
So
you
we started taking vitamins.
Yeah, good.
And
But it sounds like.
but we kept very good hours because my husband had to get up early in the morning, and he also worked in a drugstore part-time. Because we were married in the Depression at
Right.
35.
Right.
And we had a struggle, to get along.
Sure.
And my boys are only 16 months apart, so they're really close.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I could be a lot worse, we could have been a lot worse off than we were.
Yeah, yeah.
We thought we had a very nice life. We went to bed at a reasonable hour, or I did, and then Elmer would come, but he had to get up in the morning, but he never would let me get up with him. He said, "Just set the table and I can get my breakfast."
Well, did you were you a stay-at-home mom, or did you work after you were married?
I didn't work, no. I didn't go to work until both my boys were out of high school. And David went in the service. He turned 18 in August, and he went in and signed up, but he never told us until November. And he went, the day after Christmas, he went in the service. I really was upset because he was a very naive young man. And I said to him, "David," I sat him down and I said, "Dad and I want to talk to you. Now, there's all kinds of people in this world. You pick your friends very carefully and don't drink." He did smoke a little bit, not very much, but he stopped that gradually. But Roger went to Salem Teachers College, thought he wanted to be an English teacher. And then he come home one night and he said, "You and Dad going out tonight?" And I thought, "Oh, don't tell me he's going to leave school."
Oh, dear.
That's all I needed. And he said, "No." I said, "No, we're not." Well, he said, "After supper, and you and Grandma get the dishes done." My mother lived with us. "Can we talk?" And I said, "Yes." So we went in the dining room when we got through, and we sat around the table, and my mother went in the den and had the radio on. We didn't have a television then. And so he said, I feel that the Lord has called me to go into the ministry.
Oh.
And he said, "I want to know what you think." I said, "Roger, it's your life. You have to do what you feel is best for you. And I will do all I can. Your father and I will try to do as much as we can to help you."
Yeah.
But he was smart. He got a lot of scholarships. And he had two friends in our church who had no children, who were very, very devout. And they were very fond of Roger, and they helped him a lot financially.
That was good.
I paid for his clothes and his books and his allowance.
Yeah.
And that's about all we could handle at that particular time.
Right. Well, the 50s were my favorite time, of course, because I'm a 50s, I call it 50s person, girl.
Yeah.
And did you have a favorite period all these years? Was there any particular time that was favorite to you?
No, not really.
Yeah. Oh, good.
I think I've been a happy person all my life.
I think so. I think so,
I
too.
don't believe I've ever been down on the mouth very much.
Well,
And if I was, nobody would know it.
No.
I would never tell anybody.
Well.
I used to get a little cross with my mother because my father spoiled her rotten. And
you sound like my family.
So when she couldn't have her own way, she'd scoff and she'd pout. And I just ignore her.
Yeah.
I'd get her lunch and I'd say, your lunch is ready. You come out and eat it now or eat it when you want to. I'd eat mine, do my dishes.
Yep.
And she'd come out when she got ready. And then when she'd get over her mad, why, we were good friends again.
Yeah. Yeah, it does sound like our house, too. In fact, I think it's continuing with my daughter and I. But I'm the one that tries to keep the up going.
know.
You know, it's like, it's not worth anything else,
I
really.
know.
But
But then my husband had an operation and he was going to bed fairly early at night. He'd done a job on his nerves, and the phone rang one night, and our phone was in the kitchen. When we moved there, it was a black phone that was on the wall, and we never did anything about it. So I ran out to answer it, and it was my mother-in-law's doctor, and he came from Somerville, and they lived in Arlington. She lived with her oldest daughter. And it was Dr. Russman, and he said, Hazel, I'm calling to tell you, are you sitting down? And I said, no. Should I sit down? And he said, well, I have some sad news. And I said, well, I guess I can take it. And I said, and of course, right away I thought of Elma's mother, and I said, what's the matter with Nana? And she had had a stroke on her left side, and only her hand had come back. And he said, no, he said, Ines is expired. That was her daughter.
oh, dear.
And she was Elma's oldest sister. He had two sisters. And it shook me up because I had been with them that day. And I didn't know that Ines had a heart problem. And we had gone out to eat, and she had a Reuben. Now, you know, a Reuben sandwich is pretty hearty.
Yep.
And apparently, she shouldn't have had it.
Oh, I'll be
I
done.
think that helped, you know,
Right.
the problem.
Yep,
But
yep.
they always went to bed early. And Nana would lay awake. They had twin beds with a table in between. And she heard her make a noise. And she said to her, Ines, are you all right? And she couldn't get an answer. So she had to get up and go around the bed because she couldn't get out on that side because of this arm.
Right, right.
And she took a hold of her arm, and she couldn't find a pulse. Then she put her head down. And she had not been down over the stairs alone since she'd had the stroke.
Right.
And Ines had a long cord on her telephone, and she'd bring it up. That night she didn't bring it up.
Oh, my.
So she had to go downstairs.
Right.
And she called the doctor, and then she called Ines' son who lived in Linfield.
Yeah, yeah.
And then when Dr. Russman got there, he got her in the kitchen after he'd been up and made her a cup of tea, had her sitting backwards so she couldn't see when they took her body out.
Yeah, yeah.
And he called us.
Yeah.
And so I had to get Elmer out of bed, and he had a little Volkswagen, and because he was a nervous wreck, and I said, please don't drive too fast. If we're wrapped around a tree, or we're not going to be any help to your mother.
Right, right.
So he finally got settled down a little, and he said, what do you suppose happened to Ines? I said, she must have had a heart attack.
Yeah. She must have eaten a Reuben sandwich.
So anyway, that meant Elma's mother had to come to live with us.
I see.
And we'd only been alone about 9 months since my mother had passed away.
Yep.
And
I'm convinced your house is like my house.
But you know, she was a joy to have. She was a
Good.
wonderful
Oh,
lady.
that was nice.
I think, without any exception, I had the best mother-in-law in the world.
Good, good.
She was a wonderful lady.
I bet you're a good mother-in-law.
Well, thank you.
I bet
hope
you
so.
are. I bet you are.
I hope they think I am.
Yeah. Do you know that I was looking at the amount of presidents that were here while you were here? I mean, 19 presidents you saw in your lifetime. And Teddy Roosevelt was president when you were born.
That's right.
So look at that. I mean, did you...
I remember the First World War. I remember seeing Lindbergh.
Yeah? Well,
He came through Somerville.
yeah. Oh, my. And you were here for the big one, World War II.
Yeah.
And, you know, we've
I
had...
missed
Yeah, I know.
but,
And you managed to...
but you know, I've enjoyed life. I really have. I enjoy everything I've done. I belonged to a group in Somerville, and then we had there were 6 couples. We called ourselves the 12 and no more. There's only 2 of us left.
Wow.
She lives in Florida, and she's not as old as I am.
Oh.
She's in her 90s.
Oh, she's just a baby.
And Mim will call me and she'll say, I can't believe, Hazel, you're as old as you are.
Yeah.
I said, tell me about it. I can't believe it either.
Well, I'm telling you, I'm impressed.
But, you know, my son, I have such a good mind. You know, David was over one day, and his little grandson, his youngest, he has 3 sons. His youngest married an Australian girl, and they live in Australia.
Oh,
He has a business over there. And Addison was going in to have his adenoids and tonsils out because he had ran a temperature all the time. So we were sitting on my divan, and I said to David, did I ever tell you when I had my tonsils out? No. How old were you, Ma? I said, I was 5. You remember it? He couldn't believe that I could. I said, I can see the whole layout of the house.
Oh my goodness, good for you. I actually heard a story about you when you were 3 that you remembered, and that was something about a curl that you had?
Oh, yeah. We lived in the house with a couple that had no children, and they were very, very fond of me, and often they would ask my mother, can she stay to supper with us? And my mother say, well, if she doesn't behave herself, you just open the door and send her upstairs. And they said, she always behaves herself. Well, Steve kept saying, my mother used to part my hair. I had 28 curls. And she used to part my hair here, and I had one big curl with a bow. And Steve would say, take a hold of the curl. When are you going to give that to me?
Uh-oh.
So my grandfather, Allison, my mother's dad, lived with us. My grandmother died in February, and I was born in June. So he came to live with us. And he had a room off of the sitting room, his bedroom. I was not supposed to go into his room. But it was a rainy day, and my mother was doing some cooking, baking in the kitchen. And I got kind of bored, and I took myself into my grandfather's room, and he had a pair of barber shears on his dresser. And I thought, oh, I must cut that curl off for Steve.
Uh-oh.
So I cut the curl off, and of course the bow came off, and I put the bow in the drawer, and he had a pot with a cover on it because my mother didn't want him to go out because it was near the stairway. So I put it in the pot. It was nice and clean. And of course later I went out in the kitchen, and of course my hair was standing right up on end. My mother took one look at me. What did you do? She said. And I started to cry.
Uh-oh.
And I said, Steve wanted my curl, and I cut it off, and then I got scared.
Well, oh my goodness.
So anyway, that then she had to part my hair
Well,
further till it grew out.
And
But
obviously,
she really told Steve what she thought of him.
but obviously she forgave you because you lived a lot longer.
Oh yeah. And they were good friends. And Kate used to say to him, Steve, you shouldn't say that to her.
Well, there you go. You shouldn't have. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I was thinking while you were talking about the hair that there were a lot of changes in clothing through all that. I mean, a lot of changes because I know when you were born, they were wearing long dresses, and then, you know, you went to the 20s with the flappers. That must have been fun to be sewing on if you were
I
sewing
never wanted my clothes as short as most of them, because my father would never have approved of that. My dad was an only child, and he came from Maine, and he lost his mother when I guess my sister was about 6 when my grandmother died. But my grandfather lived to be 89, and he was an engineer on the Boston and Maine. And he lost an eye from a cinder that got into it. And I remember, I think I was 18 or 19. I hadn't done a great deal of cooking. My sister cooked much younger than I did because she pestered my mother so much. My mother made the copy of the recipe. She sat her down. She said, when you memorize it, I'll let you make a cake. And Grace had a wonderful memory. So she did it. She was a great cook. I was an average cook, I guess. My husband thought I was a good cook. But,
well, that's what counts right there. My husband knows that I don't like to cook.
I love to cook.
He thinks I don't know where the stove is, as a matter of fact. But you know, what I need to know now is what keeps you active now? I mean, what keeps you have such a fabulous memory? But what do you do?
I'm not that active, although I go out in the hall and I go down one flight of stairs, go around and come up the other several times a day if I don't go out. Because it keeps me limber.
Right.
I get a little stiff. I don't have arthritis, but it gets a little stiff if I don't move around.
Right.
And I go down to my church. They have a mission group. I can't do anything. I bring them their coffee.
Nice.
And whatever goodie there is, I'll bring those over to them.
But you are with people then. I mean, at least you're socializing.
I'm very fond of being with people.
Yeah.
I'm alone a lot, but there's not much you can do about that. I play solitaire. I'm not very good at it, and sometimes I get them kind of screwed up because I can't tell black from red sometimes. And then I listen to cassettes that I get from Worcester. And
good. Well, do you have any suggestions for, our seniors to, every time we do the show, I try to tell them, get out, come to things we have, do things, don't sit at home.
Well, I do out as much as I can. Yesterday, Charlotte and I went out for lunch.
Yep.
I had a certificate given to me for Atlantic Sea Grill, and I said, you and I are going to have dinner down there today. So Charlotte's been a wonderful neighbor.
Yeah.
She's been so good to me. I can't put batteries in my hearing aid. I can't feel it. I can't see it.
Yeah.
I open them at night. Sometimes the battery drops out.
Oh, yeah.
I have to ask her, and I wait till I know she's up, because she don't get up as early as I do. But I call her, and I'll go down. Sometimes she'll say, oh, I'll come up.
Yeah.
And I'll say, well, I don't mind going down. I don't mind stairs at all.
Yeah, well,
I'm very fortunate.
It's good for your heart and everything.
And we have some wonderful neighbors. We have 5 new tenants in our building. We've lost a lot of people. And the man that was behind me, that was really a shock to me, because he's such a robust man.
Yeah.
I didn't know he had a pacemaker. But he was going down to our church for the neighborhood supper on a Tuesday night, and he'd walk down, I think he was going to go in his car, but he couldn't get it started. So he walked down, and he was just going out onto the street where the brick wall is when he fell.
Oh.
And some man with a dog was going by, and he called 911, and they took him to the hospital,
Oh.
and he died.
Yeah.
That really was a shock to me, because Roman, although I couldn't talk much to him, he was Lithuanian, he didn't speak very good English.
Yeah.
He was a very nice man.
Yeah.
And I'd had to have him a couple times come in, shut the faucet off, because I couldn't do it.
Right,
you know.
right. Well, you know, I guess not all of us can live to be 101, although we'd like to if we especially if we were like Hazel Plummer, let me tell you. And
Well, I had been very blessed with
Yeah.
good health.
Yes.
And I think, you know, we lived a good, normal life. We went up all hours of the night. We weren't carousing around, and I guess the only time we'd be up would be New Year's Eve,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
a 6 or more group.
Yeah.
Either they were at our house or we at one of the others. 2 of them lived in Lexington, one lived in Arlington.
Yeah.
And, you know, we just had an all-around good time, and then we'd have probably lobster at midnight, and then we'd go home.
Oh, well, I got to tell you, I want to thank you so much for coming and
You're very
chatting with
welcome.
us.
Oh, I've enjoyed it.
And I'm going to expect you next year so you can give us an update.
Oh, please.
That's
Just
what I
take
want.
one day at a time. That's all I do.
And that's the best thing to do.
I don't plan ahead. Although my sons keep saying, "Oh, Ma, you'll be here when you're 105 or more."
Oh, yeah, I hope so. I want to be sitting here with you, and I want to be...
Well, I hope I'll still have my mind.
Yes, you can repeat everything we said today. I know, I bet in 5 years or whatever. But meantime, I want to tell our friends out there that I'm so happy that you were here, and I want them to not forget to hug a senior and join us next time. But meantime, I think I'm going to hug this senior.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
And here's some flowers because it was your birthday and because you came in to see us.
Oh,
Just a
thank
few
you.
flowers.
Oh, they're beautiful.
So now you've seen what we do when we have a guest on our show. We get them all relaxed and we sit down and chat a while, and then we start the show. And
Good job, Barbara.
oh, thanks. How do you think it went?
I think it went great. Let me shut these lights off.
Okay. So
Nice job. Another one in the can.
thank goodness.
Yep.
So,
So what do you got for next month?
well, I've been looking into a couple of things. I actually the other day I found out about someone in town that does a craft that I think we might be interested in showing.
Oh, excellent.
So I want to do something with that, and I'll get together with him and write up the script, and I'll get it over to you.
Okay, I'm gonna go check my calendar, see what dates are available.
Good.
And you can say goodbye to the folks at home.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks.
Yeah.
And yes, goodbye, and we'll see you a little later.
Well, I think you're ready to get rid of those curlers, please. So go get ready for your show.
We will have another cookout in August when Representative Arciero and Senator Eldridge... Whoa. What happened? Where did that go?
Uh-oh. Can you see stuff in here?
No, it was fine.
Whatever you do, do not forget the Littleton Apple Man. Ugh, Mark, I put that way too close. Okay, I want you to stop a minute here, and I want to show you that where these individuals are and tape them for the show. And I can't do it. So thank you again for helping us enjoy new programs and all of your visits to the shop. Holy crow. That belongs to the thrift shop. Oh, I can't believe it. I cannot believe it.
So, come on down. I'm Ernie Bach, and I said, come on down.
All right, let's go back to the good old 101. I'm gonna be 101 by the time we finish this.